Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt is transferring. That is a report. It also comes on the heels of him no-showing Arizona State's football banquet. And might he be transferring within the conference? Welcome in. This is the Open for Business Big 12 podcast. I'm your host, John Kurtz, the best Big 12 podcast on planet Earth. Please do subscribe, like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. All that stuff really helps. Appreciate you guys. So Sam Leavitt had a tough year, but mostly because of injury this year. Missed 5 games because of a couple of different injuries that he had throughout the season. It started bothering him. What was that, like late September, early October, and just plagued him throughout the entirety of the season. A guy that plays as hard as he does, you can certainly understand how that happened. I still think he's a pretty red-hot quarterback prospect. When this first started being talked about, there was an initial report from On3 a couple of weeks ago that he was heavily considering entering the portal. The reaction from most national people was like, oh, this may be the biggest name in the portal this offseason. He will be a coveted quarterback for sure. Sam Leavitt has a great skill set. He's a Big 12 champion. He was the Big 12 newcomer of the year last year. He's got a lot of accolades. There's a ton to like. He's maybe my favorite player to watch in the conference just because of the reckless abandon that he plays with, which I do think got him in trouble injury-wise. But I totally see why a coach would fall in love with him. I get why he would command a lot of money in the transfer portal. Well, here's how the saga evolved within the last 24 hours. First, we got this from Chris Cartman, who does an outstanding job for Arizona State's 24/7 site covering the Sun Devils. He took note of what happened at Arizona State's football banquet. So he was the only captain that was not at the banquet. The other captains went on stage individually, and when it came time to honor Leavitt, Kenny Dillingham, the head coach, told the audience he, quote, wished him well in whatever his future may hold. Certainly sounds like somebody who's headed to the portal, and it is funny that we had that story from Pete Nakos and On3, and then Sam Leavitt's brother, who's his representation, like vehemently tried to deny that. Now it certainly looks like that report was correct. Cartman went on to say Dillingham told the audience it would be cowardly not to mention Leavitt while recognizing the rest of the team's captains, even though he wasn't there. So yeah, kudos to Kenny Dillingham for not just like ignoring that. Took it head on and said, hey, wish him the best of luck. Dillingham is definitely the type of coach that gets it. I think he understands that if he were to go out there and like trash him or say anything disparate, like that's one, probably not who he is. And two, probably not going to net good results moving forward with pulling players out of the transfer portal. You got to just accept this as a reality. And I think that's why a coach like Kenny Dillingham is going to thrive in this era, because he understands and he has accepted that as a reality of what the sport is right now. Well, here's the report that then came today, or at least I saw it today. Maybe I'm mistaken and this came last night. No, this morning. Okay. Anthony Tautry. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, Anthony. Arizona State beat reporter, Phoenix Sun Devils, Phoenix Sports. Sam Leavitt intends to enter the transfer portal per source. I think everybody understood that was probably what's going to happen, but it comes up right on the heels of Chris Cartman. I guess I forgot to show you the actual tweet here from Torty. Arizona State QB Sam Leavitt intends to enter the transfer portal. There you go. This is a bummer. Full stop. I mean, the Big 12 has lost now a really high-profile, excellent coach in Matt Campbell. They're losing a really high-profile, excellent player and quarterback in Sam Leavitt. You don't want to be having that in the offseason. It's always been a fear, something you're going to have to monitor, that this will start happening to the most high-profile of players and coaches in this conference, that they'll get poached as the money gap continues to grow between the haves in the SEC and Big Ten and everybody else. So this is one that I just think if you're a neutral observer of the conference, if you're just a fan of a Big 12 team or of the Big 12, you hate to see this. It's certainly disappointing, like the way that it's happening. I mean, not being at the banquet, I'd be curious to hear out what the reasoning is for that. I would think you have to know that that's going to cause a lot of speculation about what's going on, but also like, I don't know, can you just finish out this season with your boys, with your brothers, and then take care of your business after that? I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea his schedule. I do think it's a little unfair to totally speculate and blanket statement that, but it's disappointing that this is the way that it would go down. I think it's a bit disappointing that you got this crazy denial from his brother when it was clear that that's really what is going on. And I hate that this is happening, because if you don't want to play for Kenny Dillingham, who took a chance on you from Michigan State, made you the starter when, Jaden Rashada was the high profile guy that could have been it. Dillingham's about as friendly of a player's coach, while just being an overall great dude that understands and gets this era of the sport. If you don't want to play for him, and if Arizona State doesn't have the resources to make it worth your while to play there, I think that's it's a big indictment on, where the league is and just where the sport is right now. Having said all of that, I do also understand why Sam Leavitt would want to test the waters. He could go play about anywhere in the country. He could get a ton of money. And if you are especially, that sounds appealing to me right now as a 36-year-old. If you're a 19, 20, 21-year-old, I totally get why that's appealing and why you might want to go check it out. And you have the freedom to do so. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I would do totally differently if I were in his position. So I think all those things can be true. I think this requires a little bit of nuance, when a lot of times we don't have any nuance with these discussions at all. As far as where he is going, I would certainly hope that doesn't happen within conference. And the only reason that I bring that up is because Texas Tech has been one of the rumored potential destinations here. I think I told you guys before, I do know of Texas Tech splashing around some big numbers for other quarterbacks within the conference. And whether or not that's like a really serious offer or trying to entice those schools to then overspend on their guy, I don't know. But it seems to be happening. And Texas Tech is a school within the league that spends more money than anybody else. So you can see how they might want to go spend for the top quarterback option in the portal, when Will Hammond didn't appear after the Utah game like he may be the guy. We'll see. But you can understand Texas Tech's in it to win now. They're not here to mess around at quarterback. And so I could absolutely see them going and getting a high-profile QB this year to come back next year. Now, the other speculation initially, and that I've still seen, because CBS Sports in their latest write-up after this report said LSU and Texas Tech as the two places that they're bringing up as potential destinations there. Look, LSU's the other one. Lane Kiffin is somebody who's got all the NIL resources at his disposal he could possibly want. He is an offensive guru. It seems like this would be a pretty good fit for him. I guess I don't 100% know. Leavitt definitely is a guy who's going to use his legs a lot. Maybe Lane Kiffin would prefer to use them a little bit differently. We'll see. But I get why people would immediately connect the dots to LSU, high-profile school, ton of money. They've got a new coach who is not going to shy away from going after the most high-profile options, right? That's Lane Kiffin's whole deal. He seems to like the spotlight a whole lot. I think that one would sting a lot less if you're an Arizona State fan. Like, hey, at least he's going to arguably the most high-profile program in the country. Maybe like after Ohio State, LSU is in the argument there. So we can't be as mad about that. It's not in the conference. There would be probably less hard feelings if that were to be the case. So we'll continue to monitor, see if it becomes officially official when the portal opens. Like, the portal still doesn't open for about a month officially. So got some time here. Maybe things will change. But for right now, it certainly appears like Sam Leavitt is leaving, which is a huge bummer. Huge bummer for Arizona State. Huge bummer for the Big 12. Huge bummer for college football, honestly. It is. I know that whoever gets him is not going to feel that way, but I think everybody else should feel that way. Subscribe to the Open for Business Big 12 newsletter, ofbnews.com, or click the link in the description. Like the video, subscribe, and take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.